Hey guys, Krista here, aka Behemonista. Today's video is basically someone had asked me to do this a while back and I just wasn't sure how to do it because I had done a similar video before. But anyway, today's video is about how I became a carnival blogger. More so like, and I guess like a get to know me kind of video too.
Mommy falling like a waterfall.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is a place where I combine carnival, culture, fitness, lifestyle topics, basically anything I love to talk about here because I'm a multifaceted person, and guess what, life is not a one size fits all, so I can do whatever I want. Anyway, someone had asked me to talk about basically how I got started as a carnival blogger. And I knew this was going to be a long video, so just hold your horses, it's going to be long. So I was kind of hesitant on how to film it or how to, create it, but we have, so it's happening. I think I'm going to start with how I started blogging in the first place, how and why, and then we'll get into the carnival segment of it. I'm from the Bahamas. And if you guys haven't seen the name Behemonista, aka Krista, I picked that name mostly because it means a lot to me, being from the Bahamas, and I wanted to quote unquote embody, I guess, being a person that lives not in the Bahamas, but also, showcasing the many layers of being Bahamian and being a woman and being me. But I moved from the Bahamas to New York when I was 18, Brooklyn more specifically. I went to college in Brooklyn for about 5 years. I lived there for an additional 4 years, and that was kind of where the blogging spirit, writing spirit, blogging spirit was born inside of me. I'd always loved being a creative. I love singing, I love dancing, I love writing poetry ever since I was a teenager. Ever since I was a little girl, I just loved reading. I love reading books, all of that stuff. And it just all culminated when I had graduated from college and it was time to get a job. It was time to get a job, and I think I worked for maybe a full or half a year, and I was just like, this ain't it. This can be it. Like just working 9 to 5 and not feeling fulfilled. Mind you, I love my professional career. I do. I just love it in a different way. But I just had this creative need in me to fill a void where it was like, hey, you're more than just this person. So that's kind of where the blogger in me was born. I started my blog on a platform called blogger.com, which was free 99. It was just free. I did basically all my own graphics and stuff like that. I think it might still be up. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description box below. It's a little embarrassing, I ain't gonna lie. But I did all the pictures myself. I did a horrible job at that. But I think I was more so started because I more so started blogging because it combined a lot of different elements for me. So like photography, being able to express myself with clothing, writing, taking pictures, all these different arts combined together. And I would look at other girls' blogs like Simply Sin, Maddie James. There were a few others that I was like in awe of, because they would do such a good job of doing blog posts, promoting their content, putting on really cute styles and stuff like that, and just taking pictures and just living basically however they wanted to live. So that was kind of my spiel. I just wanted an outlet where I could express myself. I had no idea at the time that you could potentially get paid for this, but it was what it was. So I started that. I actually started my blog as an entertainment blog. I started because I would read like People, I would read like ybf.com, and I didn't necessarily want a shady blog or anything like that. I wanted more so to just be more like ahead of like trending topics. I love fashion. I love Vogue. I love trendy stuff. I love, clothes. I love jewelry. I love all the things that the girls like. So I loved all of that, and I just wanted to combine it in a space where I could talk about it. And I knew that I was a little bit different from a lot of my friends, and I felt like the stuff that I liked wasn't really talked about or celebrated, so I really wanted to put that in a space just for me, just to get it out there. So the next thing I want to talk about is consistency. And trust and believe, I was not consistent. There would be times where I would be writing posts like maybe once a day or once every other week, and then there would be a standstill of like a couple of months, and it had a lot to do with what was going on with me personally and whatnot. Like I had like student visa issues, I had work visa issues, all these different things. Financially, I just wasn't able to, have the photographer take photos and this, that, and the third. And at the time, I didn't even realize I could take my own pictures. I don't even think my smartphone was that advanced yet. And that was around like maybe, I want to say I started my blog or the free blogger part in 2010, like a year after I graduated college. But it was a lot of on and off writing, trying to decide what I wanted to write about, trying to decide if this was something I really wanted to do, trying to decide if it was even worth doing, trying to decide if I was even brave enough to do it. So it was just a lot of that. Fast forward to me actually leaving New York City to go to Florida, Central Florida, because I wanted to be closer to my family. And on top of that, my job at the time did not want to renew my work visa. So I had to figure out something quick, and I got my visa transferred over to a place where I worked in Tampa, Florida, and that's where I moved to in 2013. And Tampa is where I really, really, really dug deep. Like, it was almost like a fresh start, so to speak. I was like, no one really knows me here. Let me just dig deep and get into this creative mode and try to push out as much content as I possibly can. Now, I know y'all wondering, where does the Carnival part come in? So I'm gonna have to rewind a couple years. We still in Brooklyn. To the first time that I actually went to Carnival, which was my first Carnival ever, was maybe, it was 2010-ish. 2008. Memory bad. West Indian Labor Day Parade, down the Parkway. My friends, I had a lot of Trinidadian friends. The first costume I'd ever gotten was from an organization that was, I forget. But anyway, it was a free costume, and I was so excited. Like, I didn't have to pay for it. I was like, we get to go on the street and wind up and dance up in these costumes. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And we all went as a group, and it was so much fun. It was amazing. And from then, I never ever let it go. Like, it was year after year, Labor Day Parade, volunteering at the mass camps to see if I could get a free costume, also to kind of learn the behind the scenes of it. And it was just one of those things that, just latch onto you and you just can't let it go. Mind you, being from the Bahamas, we have Junkanoo, so I knew about Junkanoo, but it was completely in a different kind of in the same culture, but not in a different subculture, if that makes sense. We didn't play the same music. Bahamians listen to Rake and Scrape. We have Junkanoo music during our Junkanoo traditional parades. Caribbean or soca was more Trinidadian, Bajan, all these different islands, this, that, and the third. So like when I lived in New York and I did the Labor Day Parade, I just got like a burst of different people's cultures, and I just learned so much that is just something I just could not let go of. Like, it was just so infectious, and it just felt like home, because at the time I was definitely going through a lot of like visa issues and stuff like that. So when I couldn't go home, I was able to get a little bit of home, get a little bit of that Caribbean warmth um, while I was in New York City as a student and as a young professional. Fast forward, I had been doing Eastern Parkway religiously from that first time when my friends introduced me to it. I think I had even traveled. Yeah, I had traveled to Miami for my first Miami Carnival. Was it 2000? It was something. I had traveled and all from New York to Miami to do the whole Miami Carnival, and it was just, you know, it was just an experience. Like, I just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper into Carnival. Where Carnival and blogging started to merge was I had an old wire bra from a year I had played with Sesame Flyers on the road, and I wanted, I guess, you know, people had the wire bras and the new styles and stuff like that, and the section that my friends had picked in a band for a Miami Carnival, I just wanted to see if I could jazz it up a little bit, jazz up the costume. So I actually redid the bra, and it was pretty easy. It's like anybody could do it. Like, you could take a piece of fabric, rewrap, and then also like regem the bra. And that was my first blog post. Like, first Carnival blog post. I was intentional, and I documented the start to finish of this wire bra that I had worn for Miami Carnival, because I thought it would be helpful, a nice tutorial, and it would kind of almost refresh my blog, because at that time I was not blogging. It was just sitting there. It was doing nothing. And I just needed, and every time I pressed publish, it was something that just was like, it would just breathe new life into me almost. I would get tingles. Even up to now, like, I press publish on something, and it's like a feeling that you can't just get anywhere else. So it was like a dream for me to combine both blogging and Carnival together. And I was like, you know what, let me just try to continue to be more consistent, less fearful, and more intentional about combining my two loves together and making this a thing, or making, you know, trying to create this into a more creative outlet. So actually, back to Central Florida, it was like maybe 2013 or so, 2000, yeah. And I started going to a lot more soca events in the Tampa area, and Orlando, South Florida, Miami was right there, so it was just like a drive away, or take the bus to go to Miami Carnival or fetes or events. And I had friends down in Miami at the time, so I literally would go back and forth, and I would choose to document events and put them on my blog. Even, I think it was maybe 2013-ish or 2012 that I had reached out to a designer. Her name is Lauren at Pink Dragon Design. She actually developed my whole website, because there's no way in hell I would have been able to do it myself. But she was able to put together this beautiful logo, and then the whole Bahamianista actually came to fruition, because I was like hard pressed to be like, hey, I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to be a blogger. I'm going to be consistent. And I love how this makes me feel. So I'm going to push to being this person that I know I can be, and express myself in this way. So mind you, I'm still, as the Carnival aspect comes in, I'm still doing the style blogging, a little bit of travel blogging here and there, but mostly style and stuff like that. I eventually started my YouTube channel as well, which I definitely wasn't consistent on, because I just was trying to figure out what it was I wanted to do while having this thing. Like, it wasn't like, oh wow, this is what you should do, and you know, you have everything lined up. No, it was a lot of trial and error, and trying to figure out, okay, do I like doing it this way, or do I like talking about this, or do I like this better, do I like YouTube better, do I like my blog better? And come to find out, I like blogging, I like vlogging, I like doing all of it. But a lot of it was just still me trying to figure out basically my way, my niche, if that makes sense. So as the years went by, well, not the years, but more so 2014, 2015 is where I really started to get a little bit more intentional and really started to drive towards more your travel, carnival blogging, and really got intentional. Because you know what it was? I think that really kind of kept me back, being fearful, like going out to events, taking out my camera, taking out my phone, taking pictures, vlogging the whole video spiel and stuff like that while people are watching. Like, that used to terrify me. It still kind of terrifies me now. Just because you just never know how people will react, or what they think, or who does she think she is, this, that, and the third. But I had to learn quick. If this was something I wanted to do, I had to just do it. Like, who cares what so and so got to say? If they don't want to be around, then, you know, just do it. So a lot of, like, I think the biggest learning curve for me was between 2013 to 2016. 2015 was like one of the biggest years where I really took a lot of big steps personally for the blog and for myself, especially with traveling and carnival and stuff like that, where I would purposely go out. Like, I traveled to Hollywood Carnival by myself because I just wanted, well, it was a birthday trip, and I'd never traveled anywhere by myself, quote unquote, like got the rental car, got the place, this, that, and the third. So I was just determined to do a solo trip just for my own personal growth, but also to be like, okay, you know, you can do this, you can document while you're here, and you can enjoy the trip. And it was like one of the best things I had ever done. One of the best experiences of my life as well. So 2015 was definitely a year that I really pushed myself, because it was a year I had gone to 5 carnivals. That was the most carnivals I'd ever done in 1 year. And I was just like, you know what? I'd even written it down. I was like, you know, you're going to go to this place, you're going to go to this place, you're going to go to this place, and you are going to be intentional about documenting. I think the carnivals I went to that year were Trinidad. I went to Jamaica. I also went to Atlanta and Hollywood, and then Miami. So I was just dead set on being intentional about being this blogger, carnival blogger person. And what I realized was, even though I was scared to do it and I was a little bit terrified of what I was doing, I had to do it to get over the fear, and I had to do it to kind of exercise a muscle to be like, hey, well, if this is something you want to do, this got to be like clockwork. This has to be like, you can't be second guessing taking out your camera. You can't be second guessing documenting. You can't be second guessing being intentional about this stuff. You have to actually do it. And I think what a lot of people get held up by is fear and not knowing how to start, what to do, like the actual steps to doing it. But a lot of it was just literally just doing it, and doing it consistently, and getting over myself and not giving a shit about what other people had to say, if that makes sense, you know. So that was the year where it kind of really turned around for me. Like, I wasn't getting paid for it. I mean, I think at the most around that time I was getting like free stuff to talk about. I was collaborating with maybe like I collaborated with people that were doing events, like pop-up shops, this, that, and the third, and I would like document and, you know, do like a little social media here and there, a little social media promotion, this, that, and the third. But that was definitely the year I literally put my foot in it, and I did not take my foot out until I was like certain, like, hey, this is a thing. This is something that you're good at, and this is something you can do. So that's kind of what solidified the whole carnival blogging thing, if you get what I'm saying. So now 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, we're in 2020 right now. Some of the things that I regret not being or doing, or not doing quickly enough, I probably would have been further along if I hadn't allowed fear to get in the way. I probably would have been a lot more further ahead if I was a lot more consistent. And a lot of that was fear based. So fear just kind of, you know, wiggled its way into my mind, and ugh. But I think one of the biggest takeaways is, if you are scared, girl, guy, do it scared. If it's something you really, really want to do, you can't really watch what people have to say. You can't really care about what they think. You got to just do it, because a lot of the time my friends and my family didn't understand what I was doing, what I was trying to do. I'm pretty sure a lot of them thought I was crazy at some point. Maybe still do. But I knew it was my life, and I knew that I just wasn't satisfied with just being one version of myself. I knew that I have many layers. I feel like people have many layers to them. And it's so much, and if you know there's something in your heart that you really, really want to do, whether you get paid for it or not, you just got to do it. You can't let fear be the elephant in the room. And even if it is the elephant in the room, you got to be like, I'm going to do it anyway, elephant. You know what I'm saying? Fast forward to now. If you are aspiring to do something similar, I think one of the other things, another takeaway is that you really never know who's watching. You don't know. You do not know. And the thing with consistency is while you're teaching yourself to exercise this muscle, to keep doing and doing and doing, no matter how you may be feeling about it, or what other people may think, or if you're adequate or inadequate, or how many people may be doing it in the same space, and this, that, and the third. You just never know who's watching. I think it was 2017, 2018 that I kind of first got my first, was it? Yeah, around that 2017, 2018, I got my first partial, full sponsorship partnership with a Carnival brand. And when I saw the email, I thought, I was like, maybe they sent it to the wrong person, because it couldn't be me, you know? And I was just like, y'all want me to do all the stuff I love doing, and you gonna give me XYZ? Obviously, it's not a give thing. It's more like a partnership. Like, you basically, it basically becomes, you know, work, quote unquote. Well, it is work. And you have to, you know, deliver all these different things. But when it hit my inbox, I was just like, is this truly happening? Is this really happening? Like, even at that point, I didn't even feel like I was consistent enough to be considered, you know, I guess worthy enough for it. If that makes sense. Honestly, I'm not like ragging myself down. I'm ragging or taking for granted what I've accomplished and stuff like that. It's just that, you know, you do something and you love it, you put your energy into it, and you just really, you don't know who's watching. Like, you really do not know. And it's like, I just want to say, don't give up. You know, even if you get one comment or one like, or you get no likes, no comments, just keep going. Just keep going. Because even now, it's like things that I do that might not necessarily get as much views or likes or this, that, and the third, and I'll get someone emailing me a partnership about, oh, we saw XYZ video and we loved it, or we read XYZ post and we loved it, and we want you to be a part of XYZ, this, that, and the third. And I was just like, you really love that? But half of my followers didn't like it. So you just never know. You never know who's watching. You never know what their perception is of your content. You never know. So just keep going. So I think the last thing I want to leave, because I don't want this video to be too long, because and I just don't know if I'm doing this right, like a story time, cute, get to know me, whatever. Anyway, whatever. I think the last thing that I want to leave with in terms of like this, on this topic, is, and a lot of this I struggle with too, and especially when I was more so being a style blogger and trying to figure out a niche and stuff like that, trying to figure out my space in like this industry, and if I even qualified to have a space and whatnot. I know it may look like a lot of people doing it, a lot of people, like, I just remember just trying to style blog, and I was like, wow, there's so many style bloggers. And, you know, their aesthetics were amazing. Their outfits were amazing. They have boyfriend photographers. They have the money to pay photographers. They spitting out content every day, every day, every day, every day. Meanwhile, I could only do it like once a week or on the weekends because I work a full-time job and this, that, and the third. And yeah, the market might look saturated, but I just feel like if it's something you really want to do, just do it. Who cares if so and so watching, if so and so looking, if who cares? Just do it, because even though there may be other people doing the same thing as you or may have the same ideas as you, they won't ever be able to execute that same idea. Two people could have the same exact idea, but the execution will look totally different because you are two totally different people and you have two totally different perspectives. So I wish I had figured that out a lot longer, because then I wouldn't have held myself back as much, and I think I would have been a little bit further along. But it is what it is. We here. And yeah, I feel like if you see a bunch of people doing it and you're not sure where you fit in, just do it. Just put your spin on it, because your story is different. And that's what I had to learn and realize. My story is definitely different from, you know, people in the Carnival blogger space, people in the lifestyle blogging space, people in the fitness blogging space, in all these niches that I've inserted myself into. My story is different. And, you know, there's always somebody out there that's looking to relate to a person like me. There's millions, billions of people in the world, and, you know, there is an audience for whatever it is you got to put out there. So don't let because you see everybody else doing it dissuade you, if that makes sense. Does it make sense? So yeah, that's basically my Carnival blogging story. I hope that helps. I hope I wasn't too vague. I hope I was specific enough. Guys, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I don't know how this video gonna do, but you know what, I wanted to do it. And this is another thing where, you know, when you're not sure of how something will perform or do, you just still gotta do it, because you just never know. You just never know. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the comments below. Make sure you guys like the video if you like it. Subscribe to my channel. Maybe I'll do some more of these. Who knows? Especially with Corona going on, COVID-19, all these different things. All I have is time. All I got is time, you know? But yeah, I hope it helps in some way, some form. And hope you guys are staying safe. Wash your hands. Disinfect your house. Stay 6 feet apart. Don't go crazy inside. Take a walk if you need to. Yeah. All right. I gone. Love you guys. Bye.